I've taken out my Invisalign, and this is the review. If you're like me, you watch a lot of television. I was on cable for the longest time, and we recently cut that cord, and we just stuck to internet services, Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, of course, and getting our live programming from Hulu. But you have something called IPTV. This is the Superbox S1 Pro Smart Media Player. A cord cutter's dream. Let's see what we got here. Dual band Wi-Fi, which is cool. 2 gigs of memory built in. I didn't know 6K was a thing. I knew 4 and 8. I guess this is better than 4, not as good as 8. And OTA, very important to have your OTA. That is a, quick Google search, over the air. Okay, so this will get you your local channels. And handles MPEG for compression. Just looks like the main unit. Ta-da! It's pretty clean looking. It's got 2 USBs and a, looks like a card port. HDMI LAN cable. Power. AV, I guess that's to go into a composite cable. What gear do we got here? Probably a bunch of cables. Reveal yourself. HDMI cable, because you can never have too many of these sitting around. A antenna, yes, this goes on the back there. Futz with that later. Looks like the power cord. Alrighty. Looks cool. And a remote. Wow, the remote's bigger than the thing. No batteries. Oh, and the guide. Good. Doesn't have an enormous manual to go with it. Looks fairly straightforward. Let's attach the antenna. This was sent to me to look over, and it was a little confusing to me at first because it's my first IPTV box. It runs off an Android operating system, and you have to install your apps from an online store, and which isn't hard. It doesn't cost anything, and it seems to be focused around 2 primary apps: the Blue TV and the Blue Video on Demand. You can also install Hulu, Netflix, YouTube. I already have those installed on my TV, which has a Roku built into it. It has an incredible number of channels to it. You can access over-the-air television from all over the country. I can watch the news in New York. I didn't, but I could if I wanted to. It's just kind of amazing what's out there that you can access with this thing. The menu also shows premium channels like HBO, Showtime, but I was getting error messages when I would try to look at them, probably because I'm not a subscriber to those channels, so maybe they're not available for that. I would run into problems with wireless streaming. Sometimes I would lose connection, and the box is sitting right next to the router, and the antenna is like pointing right at it. And when I plugged in an Ethernet cable, those problems went away. I was having problems with movies not loading, and that still happens, but not as often. It's like it can't form a connection, and it would just kind of spin until I stopped and started again. It also promises 6K. I didn't know 6K was a thing. I have a 4K television, and so it looked good. I've heard of 8K, never heard of 6K, so I have no way of testing if the footage that comes up through here is actually 6K. I did run into some weird things with some movies. Some movies with different aspect ratios would conform to the edges of my TV screen. Really wide letterbox movies would try to fill the screen, and thus images would be squished. It was kind of inconsistent and weird, and sometimes the image quality would vary. Some movies came in beautifully, like Blu-ray quality at least, and other movies would come in first generation DVD compression. You remember what that looked like? Does what it promises. There's some freezing, some load failures, nothing huge, but am I ready to cut that cord again? Not quite. I've heard of some of these boxes where their companies get shut down, they go out of business, one reason or another, and the boxes become dormant. They stop working. This one costs $299. I have some coupons I can put in the description. You have to decide for yourself, is something like this worth almost $300? I know I'm scared of spending that much money on something that may potentially stop working in the future. There's no fee associated with this. Once you buy it, you plug it in and it works for the lifetime, or the lifetime of the device. Also, the device seems to run Android 7, which is fairly old. It's a large investment. It does what it promises. But you have to decide if you want to spend $300 on this. I mean, if you search around online, you'll see they come in a variety of prices. I can't attest to the quality or the quantity of programming those have. All I can say is this one has a ton of TV and movies. Still, there's that specter of this box may someday go out of business. It wouldn't make a very good paperweight either because it's pretty light. But so far, I have been enjoying the box. Good God. Fireworks and they're freaking the cat out. Really? Are we done? Alright. Where was I? I still occasionally have issues with movies failing to load. A lot of the channels give me a down for maintenance message. In conclusion, there are a ton of TV channels, regional from all across the country. Do you really need that? That would be up to you. If you want to spend $299 on this, again, that would be up to you. Especially if you think that's worth the risk. So that's the S1 Pro. There's a link in the description. I got some coupons in there if you want to use them. Alright, tell me in the comments below, would you use something like this? Could you use something like this? And would you spend $299 for it? You probably still have to keep Hulu and Netflix, because I don't see how you would be able to legally access the programming without a subscription, right? And if you've already cut your cord for your cable company, this could take the place of it. And I might be harping on this thing. It may never go out of business. It may never go down, but I don't know. I've seen too many of these things just stop working. A friend of mine had one, and it stopped working because they got in trouble. They were naughty. I wouldn't have spent that much on something like this. I got kids and cats to feed. That's me, and I'm overly cautious when it comes to money. It gives you quantity, not necessarily quality. I feel like there's a ticking clock on what it does give you. That's a Superbox S1 Pro. Shot for the thumbnail. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, the bell, you know, the usual YouTube stuff. This is theNewBee, and I'll see you later, kids. Toodles.